This is Scotty Stuch, Sober Sitdown. Today we're going to do something new, different type of episode. It's going to be kind of an episode / documentary, somewhat of an interview, but more of an open forum discussion. Today I bring with me my good friend from Northeast PA, Whitey, Milunic. How you doing? And then I got my boy from Long Island, Anthony Vallone.
What's up, guys?
And is tatted up, right?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
And Ann is a proud sponsor of Sober Sitdown with his apparel company, Class Mafia. And if you want, we can jump right into. You want to tell the audience of my viewing audience a little bit about your company and stuff like that.
We're called Class Mafia, and we started it about 3 years ago. I had a partner. She's from Germany, and it was like a botched deal. So she would take orders, but then she wouldn't send them out. So I figured she was doing all shady shit. I shut it down. A few months later, I met Molly. Molly was great from the rip. So me and her decided I'll go in 50-50. We'll do Class Mafia. I'll build my TikTok up. And, 2 years later, we're here and we're doing pretty good.
Your
So
TikTok.
I had to go back. I had to restart, go back to the drawing board. You know, see what was going on, and Molly's helped me a lot, man.
Yeah, your TikTok, you have like over 500,000 viewers, right?
Yeah, I have 473,000. I don't know why it doesn't go up though. Like, yeah, I'm stuck at 473.
It's like lifting when you plateau, you know?
Yeah, you're stuck.
Yeah, it's crazy because I was stuck at 250 for like 6 months. Then boom, I started going up. Then I got another 200,000. Then boom, I was at 460. Now I'm at 473 point something, and it won't go up. I don't know what the hell's going on with that app. That app it's on and off, man. I feel like they're taking more money now. Cause Scott, you know I go live at night.
Every night, right? At like
Yeah,
during the week?
every night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're in Long Island, New York, and I have my crew. I got my top class mafia crew, and now the money I'm starting to make, they're taking more of it. So I don't know, something's going on.
It's like the
Something's
government. It's like the
going on.
government. The more you make, the more they take.
Yeah, man, and you know that they even take taxes, bro, from TikTok. You have to claim that.
Oh yeah, they're gonna.
I
Well, they
didn't
didn't
know
hire
it.
87,000 IRS agents to have fun with each other.
Yeah, that's right, bro. The more, like you just said, the more money you make, the more you get fucked. So, hey, it is what it is, right? Let's
Yeah.
go, man.
So, the reason we all came down tonight was, we all want to talk about our growing up. I'm 37. Mike, how old are you?
40.
How old are you, Anthony?
Mike, you're an old man.
I'm an old man, man. I'm getting a little rust is building
I'm
up now.
33. You don't
Rust
look
is
it,
building
though.
up,
You look
baby.
great,
Yeah,
bro.
that's great.
You
So
look
you
good,
guys look
man.
great too yourselves.
I'm 33, and like when I was coming up in the club scene, I was doing my thing. I was getting money. Everybody knew me. I was going to Savannah. I was going to Glow. I was going to, like all those places. Zachary's. Zachary's was one of my hot spots. They used to have that 40 and over single night. I was like 18.
That was
And
our
I-
Sundays for Woodlands.
Yeah, they
Woodlands 40 and 40 something.
30 something.
30 something,
Yeah,
40
man.
It
something.
seemed like 40 something.
Well,
Which
yeah.
one?
And then at
Plus,
like 4 o'clock, they start to serve breakfast and everything, right?
Well, that's
The
funny
last
because
time-
that's funny. I don't know if you did AC back in the day, Atlantic City, for our
Yeah,
international
man.
audience, Atlantic City, New Jersey. There was this
Yup.
nightclub called Club True.
Oh, true.
Club True. You would go down there. It would open at like 5 o'clock on a Friday and wouldn't close till Monday morning. There'd be people walking around
Holy
like zombies.
I mean,
Yeah.
clubbing in the
That's a
area,
long weekend.
you being from the city yourself, we're not from a big city, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton.
Yeah.
Things close at 2 a.m. That's it, 2 a.m. You're done.
Exactly. Yeah, of
So-
course, you're done.
So to us, going down, something different for me. I was going down. I had a friend of mine take me down there, experience it, and he'd be like, "Oh man, we don't go out until about 12, 1 o'clock in the morning out here." I said, "What do you mean?" I mean, I go out. We're pre-gaming at 7:30
in
o'clock
the
at
queue,
night.
you were saying.
We're done,
Yeah.
And down there, it's like, no, we don't pre-game until about 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, and we go out at 2 a.m. So it's like, oh man,
Bro, I don't even know how I used to drink as much as I fucking drink.
Oh.
Your liver must have felt like it was gonna fall out when you were leaving that place. With a
Throbbing.
goddamn headache.
hurting, calling it night.
I remember when I used to take supplements. I'm going to leave it at supplements. I remember when I used to take supplements, and I used to
Stay
go
up
on.
all night.
I used to go lifting all week. I'd be drinking all weekend. I'd be doing this, doing that. And I remember on Monday morning, like, my side would be hurting. I'm like, that's got to be my kidney.
Or
That's
Lord, did
your
I
liver.
fall? You make
Yeah,
excuses.
that's
Did
your
I get
liver.
hit? Did I fall? Did I get in a fight? What did I do? You're waking up, don't know what happened.
Anthony, I said something real funny the other day, and he got a big kick out of this. We were on the phone, and I said,
Yeah.
like, when we started talking about this project, which I'd like to turn into a documentary eventually.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro. You got to.
So, like, I was talking to him, like, we started BSing. We bumped into each other, and we started BSing one another, and I'm like, bro, how about, like, this generation coming up versus our generation? I'm like, this generation doesn't want to leave home in our generation, nobody ever wanted to go home. It was
to
like,
be home, dude. There's so much controversy on that, on the fucking kids that are growing up today. And I have a kid. I know you guys have kids.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
no offense to you, dude. They're such pussies. The kids that are growing up today, that are like 18, 19, 20. They all they do is fucking. It's just
Well,
different. Now it's all the. And listen, I'm not disrespecting anyone. You could be black, purple, yellow, green. We're all the same. But when we were growing up, it wasn't guys wanting to be girls and girls wanting to be guys and shit like that. I feel like that really took a hold now. I feel like we weren't there. We didn't grow up like that.
well, I think, like, to piggyback off what you're saying with that is like, I feel as though like that all existed because I remember going to those clubs in New York and like Philly and stuff.
It
I
was
mean, yeah,
there.
There was
It was
drag.
there.
There was those
They
drag
were
nights
there,
they had and
yeah.
I
everything.
mean, it was there, you know.
But they didn't
It was
expect
there,
special
but-
treatment.
No.
Everybody,
Exactly.
everybody,
Scott,
There you
that's what
go.
I'm trying to say. Scott,
everybody
that's what
right
I'm trying
now,
to say.
they highlight their indifferences. Like,
Yup.
like, oh, I'm like, we were born a man but want to be a girl. Okay, that's fine. Nobody,
That's
nobody,
fine.
and nobody should disrespect them for that.
No,
Same thing, like,
absolutely
like
not.
you said, like black people, white people, Puerto Rican people, caramel
Yup.
people, yellow people, whatever it is you are. You were born who you are, and you should be accepted for who you are. But it's the
Absolutely.
special treatment nonsense
But
that
you
got things
shouldn't
out of
have this-
control.
But
Yeah.
everybody respected everybody to go off. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like everybody respected one another. It wasn't
Exactly.
like, oh, he's picking on me, you're picking on me, he's saying
Yup.
this, you're saying this. It was more like if you said something, or Scott said something, or you said something, Matt, or myself, you took responsibility for that. Like if I'm saying
Yeah,
something,
and
that's me.
listen,
That's on me. That's not bringing in anybody else.
Absolutely,
You know what I
bro.
mean? I think everybody took their own consequences. What came out of their mouth, they had to put up with. They had to swallow it.
Yup.
You know what I mean? So like if
Yup.
if you're gonna talk it, you're gonna chew it too, and you're gonna swallow it. So I think
And that's
people
how
need
we
to.
grew up.
You know what I mean?
Rough
That's
and
that's
tough.
how, and that's the real truth. I think it's.
Yeah.
I think we're living in a great society that we're getting advanced, but then we're still far behind. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Exactly.
It's
Like
weird.
me and my friends grew up. We wrestled. We grew up, and then when we started to go to the bar scene and the nightclubs, we fought. I have like 4 or 5 assault charges
Oh,
from when
yeah,
I was
yeah.
little. And listen, I've lost many a fights, but I also won a lot. So it's just not the same. Like I see these people on TikTok, and just like you were saying, Scott, fucking special treatment. Like we don't owe you anything.
No.
What do we owe you for? Oh, don't say that. I identify as she. All right, bro. That's all you had to tell me. Like it's
Yeah.
different.
Because
I
they're
don't know how to
sensitive if they don't
explain
get their
it.
way. If they're fucking sensitive.
There it is. It's
Yeah.
not.
Listen,
it's not,
if you said something to me or I said something to you when we were at, listen, I walked out of a fucking bathroom in what is it? RVC. I was at Cabo. I walked out of a bathroom and this dude fucking hit me right here, bro. Boom. People were fucking ready to fight when we were growing up. Now it's how do you dress? You fucking see a guy in heels. Everybody's looking at him. They're running the world. We're like the minority now, the whites. And I'm not trying to be like a white supremacist because that's what people call me. This guy
Oh
Adam.
yeah, I get it a lot too, man. It must be the matching
Yeah.
bald heads, And
I
there
mean,
it is.
you were
It's
right.
going back at stereotyping.
Yeah, they call me an American
people are too quick.
nationalist.
People are too quick to, and like myself, someone looks at you, looks at me, they think of something different. Like
Yup,
stereotyping. It's okay, but then it's not, because if you're gonna
Exactly.
go that route, and you're gonna stereotype me or Scott or yourself or anybody. Like I said, be a man and back it up, because
Back it up.
life is
or
gonna hit you
step up.
hard. Life will
Or
hit you
step
hard.
up. Yeah.
Well, then you have these
You're a
discussions.
big guy, Mike, and so is Chris. You guys are big guys. I'm 230. If you believe something, if you're saying something to me on the computer, come and say it to my face with that same energy.
But that goes to anything too, man. Like job interviews or
Yeah,
anywhere you go, like, okay, now I feel like, okay, even though I'm well mannered, I respect people, I carry myself very well, I work out, I take care of myself, but that doesn't that doesn't mean because I see that in the mirror that somebody else sees me like that. Or you know what I mean? So when I go out places, the first thing I have to worry about is I don't care what they think. Who's looking at me and thinking, oh man, I don't want to hire this guy, or I don't want this guy around because look at what he looks like. Or look at, he has tattoos, or he has tattoos, or he's a big dude. You're already getting stereotyped before you even get your foot through the door. So you're already at a disadvantage.
And I'm a little bit worse than you. You guys are big guys. So automatically today when you walk in a club, even back then, they look at you. But now I got my tattoos, so these guys want to see how tough they are.
Mm-hmm.
So they look at me at the bar and they go, him, that guy with all the tattoos on his face and his head, I want to fight him.
Yes.
So I walk in a bar, I'm automatically
You're already an open target. You're an open target.
Because they
Bullseye
wanna
on your
see
back.
how
They
tough
used to
they
call
are.
bullseye on your back.
Yes.
Bullseye on your
exactly
back.
what it is.
When we used to go out as I had a group of friends that we used to go out, close friends of mine, especially one of the guys, you know, I'm not naming names, but best friend of mine growing up as a kid. You know, you grow up as a kid and you had your neighborhood friends you grew up with. You were tight knit. You were together. You were family.
Yeah, we
brothers,
were in arms.
brothers in arms. You know, and to me, they'll go to bat for you. They'll do anything for you. They'll take care of you. You take care of them. It's not like that today. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, you will never have friends like that today. And I think that's another thing. When you go back, you see a lot of people today. Oh, I think I have friends because of how many people like me on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram. Look at me, I'm Insta famous or I'm TikTok. No, you know, nothing against it. I'm jealous because I think it's fascinating that people can to generate that much revenue, but at the same time, what happened? Like, why can't it just be like you can like me for who I am as a person, as a friend, and not this fake persona of a person on social media?
Why can't it be? Why can't it be? You go out. You want it? Go out and get it.
Yeah,
like, you want it? Go out and get it. Like, enough of the fucking freebies. Enough of the handouts.
I agree.
Enough of the coddling. Enough of the nonsense. Because like that shit didn't go on. But then you know they flip it, and they say stuff like, well, why? You know, like people like I used to run my father's restaurant social media website. People would write nonsense on it, and then like I would go at them for it because I'm like, I know these people, and I'm like, you ain't built like that. Like I'm not Mike Tyson, but like you ain't built like that. Like if you were standing in front of me right now, you would not talk to me that heavy like you do across the computer. You know what they do? They lie down because they're narcissistic or they're just weirdos. They'll press you for a reaction. And then when they fall down, you know, they press you for a reaction, you react, and they're like, why do you gotta be violent? Because you fucking took it there. That's fucking why.
Exactly. And you're a fucking keyboard warrior pussy. That's what you are. When I started TikTok, I don't even remember. I was in the middle of a divorce. I moved back in with my parents. I got an apartment upstairs that I keep all to myself. We just did work. My dog ended up fucking dying. The guy left the window open in the front of my house, the contractor. I walked to the fucking lotto store and she got hit. She was one, my fucking German Shepherd. Like, I want to beat this fucking guy's head in, but, I'll go to jail. That's what it's about. Everybody is tough on the computer. Then when they see you in real life, it's like what fucking Scott said. It's all, why do you gotta be violent? Because you were running your fucking mouth, and now I want to hit you.
And going back to what we were talking about, if you're gonna say something out of your mouth, learn to know how to chew and swallow
You
back.
have to take accountability for it. If you're calling me a fucking loser, a tatted up loser on my TikTok, I want you to say it to my face. I'll give you my address.
I'll give
Come
you my
here.
phone number. Call me up.
Exactly. Yeah, we could meet.
That's
I
how.
love to fight.
Keep that
15,
energy.
I love
Keep that
15,
energy.
yeah, keep it. Keep the energy up, man. Keep the levels up.
Keep it up
Like I
to
said,
my
if that was
face.
15, 20 years ago, God love if there was social media, I don't think any of us would be talking right now.
No.
Let me just put it
absolutely.
that way. Because I think what
we
would
used to
happen
go
was
out.
you get a one-way ticket to wherever
Yeah.
you are from,
Exactly.
and it'd be the end of that.
We used to fucking go out looking for fights. And these guys used to fuck with me, my friend Justin, my friend George, God rest his soul. He just passed away. We used to go out looking for fucking fights. Who wants to fucking fight? Now I'm scared to go even out to have a drink
I'm scared
because
to fall.
somebody's gonna look at me. I'm gonna fuck them up, and they're gonna call the cops. That's what they do, man.
That crazy guy with
Thank
the
God I
tattoos
know
on
it's
his
a cop.
face.
Who's that guy?
That
That white supremacist looking dude.
Yeah.
And there you go.
You know what the cop told me?
You'll be
They
getting
had
beat
my
up and they
hand
say, well,
up.
you must be a skinhead.
Yeah, bro, it's the cop told me, Anthony, I'm gonna fucking tell you right now. They wanna see how tough they are. So they look at the baddest looking, and I'm not I'm 230. They look at the baddest looking guy and they wanna see how tough they are. And when you kick their fucking ass, they're so shameful the cops come. That's it.
Yeah. And you're right. And if that
I
happened,
feel bad for the kids growing up.
oh,
That's it.
and you
I
know
feel
what? You know
horrible.
what sickens me too. And I know to get off subject here, but tradition. You know, tradition, family,
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
friendship. There is
right
no
on.
such thing as tradition anymore.
No,
Where are the values
no.
today? Where are your family values? That's why the kids are the way they are, because there is no family value. There is no tradition. They're getting away with too many excuses that I got this choice or I got this choice. They have too many options. They have too many options today. Kids are
Look,
making
I
their
was
own
telling my
choices. That's the
nephew.
problem. Kids are
Yeah,
making their own choices.
that's
Children are
right.
making their own choices. Children are parenting children. That's the problem.
That's
And
right.
I think today, if you're gonna have a child in this world today, and you want to be a 16, 17, 18, okay, so be it. That's your choice. Well, why are you gonna go ask for help?
Yeah, that's your choice to have
That's your choice. You
know
should
it's
step up.
expensive.
Step up. Be a parent. Be a father or a mother. Go out and do something about it.
Yeah,
Don't go ask for a
2 or
handy
3
out.
jobs.
Don't ask for, unless you really do need it in this world. Because there's people
Yeah.
that are here that want to help people like that and
Yeah.
do need help, and they're not getting the help that they do need. And that upsets me
Mike,
because
you know what
I know it's
pisses
so
me
very.
off? And I totally hear what you're saying. You're right on. I have nothing to talk about now because you just said it all.
I just
I,
took it out of your mouth. I'm sorry,
it's
Aunt.
the fucking
I stole your
no.
mic
It's
there.
the
But no,
I
it's
tell my nephew Nico, go take out the garbage. Oh, have a fucking chore. Do something.
mm-hmm.
You're living here. You're eating. He belongs here. He didn't ask to be here.
Yeah.
My sister's a fuck up, so my mom takes care of my mother
No,
takes care of my nephew, and I do. So I asked him the other night, go take out the garbage. Oh, I said, Nico, you have to have chores around here. You can't. It's not a free ride. And when you get older, this is gonna help you. No one is gonna hand you money. You got to do something for it.
Yeah.
Especially today.
I agree.
You know, I pay my child support and I can't see my son. I haven't seen him in 2.5 years. But she had 2 more kids after him. She's on welfare. She's on Section 8. She's making a fortune and I'm over here fucking poor as piss. It gets me, man. It's an
And the
unfair
thing
world.
is, as much as you want to either laugh or cry about it, you really want to do actually both. You want.
Yeah.
You don't know what to do in a situation. I'm stuck in situations like that. But I think as you as a father and Scott as a father and myself, I think the right thing to do is doing what we do and having a voice and having an opinion about reaching other kids and reaching viewers out there and letting them know that they're not the only ones that are going through
That are
struggle.
going through this.
We're just the little thin layer that
There's
go
so
through these
much.
struggles, and there's so much more out there, and it's not like saying, oh, poor Ant or poor Mike or poor Scott or whoever.
Yeah.
It's basically saying, hey, this is our life, this is what we're going through now. We're going to talk about, I'm sure Scotty has some questions for us about, what happened, how do we get here, and the choices we made. And I think that it's going to be a great, great little podcast today. And
Yeah, I think it is too.
I think this was well overdue, and I'm glad Scotty having us on today, and I'm really appreciative of it.
And I'm thankful for it.
And it's great, and I think it's great to let people know, like, how we grew up in the time we grew up in all kinds of ages and all eras, and how we even met together, how you came from this side of the to clash and become friends.
How me and you guys met.
Yeah, so
I mean, Anthony, the thing is, like, with my podcast, and this is what I tell everybody, like, raw, real, and authentic, that's what separates me from the rest. I'm not going to edit stuff out because it's going to offend certain people, because I'm sorry, if certain topics that we touch on and talk about, if that offends people, like, so what? You'll have you'll have your tough guy that make a rude comment on YouTube, or some guy who doesn't even have a picture or a fake name up. You know what? I don't care anymore. I really don't, because that's what got me to my addiction, was self-validation.
Exactly.
Me trying to validate other people's opinions when I was young, to try and appease other people's opinions of me. I was trying to be too much of what everybody else wanted Scott to be, instead of being what Scott wanted to be. And that's what led me into addiction, because I was doing things that I was trying to do to fit in. And I think a lot of us were at that age.
You get a fucking guy who's got some coke on him, and he asks you if you want to bump, and no. But bro, try it. So to be, to follow a little bit, do a bump, then you start fucking getting addicted to it. Listen, Scott, that started my whole addiction process too. But people aren't looking out for you the way they're supposed to. Like you were saying, Mike, it's not the same.
It's not.
It's not the same.
It's not. And to even say what Scott and yourself, getting into, the scene like I did, being young, 15 years old, going to the, I'm an athletic star in high school, middle school. Coming up and saying, oh man, I want to get a gym membership, because, you're looking at magazines, which was big at the time, not internet. You wanted, you went out and bought magazines. Flex muscular development. You wanted to be those guys on those magazines, but you knew you weren't going to reach that goal. But you're like, man, I'm going to try my damn hardest to look like that.
That's right.
And you start getting to the scene, oh, I'm going to the gym. And then you see what the gym's like. So now you get your eye open to a little bit of a wider spectrum of what everything is. Now, so now, wow, look at that guy. Look at that. Man, he's, and not to be weird or anything, but you when you did that, you looked at these guys like, man, I want to be like those guys.
Yeah, and what are they taking that I can?
What are they doing to be like that? And then you got your bullshit. Oh man, I'm on protein. I just take vitamins. Just drink a lot of water. Eat.
Get juice in your fucking.
I said, so that's all you had to do, right? You just had to take vitamins, right? Well, what vitamins were you talking about?
He was on.
I didn't know that was the vitamins they were talking about.
I remember my friend.
It wasn't your daily. Let's take one a day. No.
I
remember my buddy going up to somebody after the gym, one of those big guys, and he goes, bro, what do you eat after the gym? He goes, D-bomb.
But
I take a fucking bullet.
It was the truth. It wasn't like, wow, man, you're getting like that because, I'm going to the store and buying a bag of protein.
No.
And I'm taking some, because that was
all
the thing.
behind the scenes.
You
know what killed me too? Here's the funny thing of it all. And now that I could say, 30 years later, well, not 30, but like 25 years later, being in that scene and being where I started, and now that I'm growing up, it's like, what was such the denial of saying, hey man, I'm doing this drug, or I'm doing this drug, or what was such the big deal? I don't know, because there was no people that could go on social media and say, yo, Ant or Scott or this one, man, they're on this, man, they're on this. Now it was like you were just like hiding something.
Yeah.
Now it's such a big thing. Everything's becoming legal. It's like, wow, what happened?
But he's exposing themselves.
That's another thing. It's so easy now, to do anything and to get anything. It's like, wow, I had to work that hard
You go
to
right
get
to
what
your
I had to get
doctor.
to back then,
Yeah.
and it's that easy now. You could just go over the internet and just buy it.
Yeah.
Like it's like what?
I mean, I wouldn't I don't know. These kids are nuts that are fucking ordering from the internet. But my doctor,
You could go to a doctor now and say I have
Yeah.
low test levels, and they're like, yeah, I could
Exactly.
hit you up with some
They can
TRT
do
or
testosterone.
peptides, and
Yeah.
we'll heal you.
Get ready for the dart.
You get ready for the dart, like it's like now a doctor said, no, you could call somebody, and this is the truth now.
Yeah.
You could actually call. I was just talking to a buddy of mine. You could actually get blood work done. It costs money your first time doing it. I don't know how the process is. So
They see
don't
what
don't come at me, everybody, about if I'm wrong or not. But I know that you could actually go out now. You could actually get blood work done. Go get a test done, a panel done.
Yeah.
They could come back and say your test levels are low, and they could actually prescribe you a doctor to go shoot you up every week or every whatever it is, and give you free testosterone therapy now.
Yeah, that's what I did.
But because the doctor's giving it to you, it's okay. But you couldn't do it on your own though, because
it goes through insurance.
it has to
Because
go.
it
Yes,
because
it comes back to the money.
A guy, and this is off topic, guys, but I want
Yeah.
Scott to hear it and I want you to hear it. This fucking guy made a car that ran on water. This is how fucked we are in this world. He made a car that could run on water. 2 weeks after that, he committed suicide.
Yeah.
They're
So go
fucking-
figure.
Listen,
Go figure.
the money, it's the big pharma, it's these fucking Democrats in there.
Water. You'll be dead.
And I'm not a political guy, but
No, but
it's
I know
all about the money.
I know where you're coming from, man. I
It's
know
all
where you're
about
coming
the money. The guy who
I
had a cure for
definitely-
cancer, dead. The guy that had a cure for AIDS, dead. We have to pay.
No.
We have to
And
pay.
like I said, coming up into that scene, just to leave off where I left, seeing these local guys in your gym,
Yeah.
wherever, if it was, Gold's Gym back in the day when it was the Gold's Gym and Amnesia, it was a club connected to a gym.
I know.
You had the best of two worlds.
Yeah.
And then, if you weren't jacked up in there, you were doing
No one was
security
looking.
there. You know what I mean? So
Nobody.
you were a nobody. You're right, Ant, and you took the words out of my mouth. Scott and I were talking about this. Growing up, if nobody knew who your name was in this area, and you thought, because I grew up in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, you didn't know outside the block. You didn't know about
No.
New York, New Jersey, Philly, California, Florida,
No.
Texas. You didn't know about all these other places. All you knew was, I'm from the WB.
Yeah.
And if you know me from the WB, I'm a somebody. I'm like a local legend then.
Yeah.
And that's what you presume to be. So when
he says WB, for the people that are going to watch us, it's called Wilkes-Barre, PA, so they call it the WB.
Okay.
So people that are from the
there
area,
you go. Thanks, Scott.
So because we have an international audience, people in Europe might watch us and say, "What's WB?"
Yeah.
It's Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
I even think fucking going to the gym Synergy is like going to a club. If you're not a juice head in Synergy, no one's looking at you. That's why I
Nobody's
fucking
looking
go-
at you. Nobody's
Yeah,
looking
I
at
take
you.
my ass to Planet Fitness.
Nobody. You're not even getting served by the bartenders. That's how bad.
No, it's
Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm coming to come to talk about, Ant, where you would go to the gym, and when you walked in, when it was my experience, I walked in the Gold's Gym for the first time, 15 years old, got my 3-month, $25 a month, membership for a student, being a student, 3 months, $75, and everybody jumped out in the summertime, and here's me and my couple buddies were walking in, and me and my best friend took it real serious, and we wanted to work out. And being the person I am, I was such an open, very, very personable, love to talk to people.
Yeah,
I still can't shut up to this day. But I think that's where it got me to where I am now, because in a good way and a bad way, let's just put it. I would walk up to the biggest guys in the gym and be like, yo, man, I want to know what you're doing. I'm not trying to bullshit you. I want to know what you're doing. I want to know what you're taking. Don't bullshit me.
Yeah, Mike,
I mean,
close mouth,
I
shut the
I
tent,
I
bro.
want to get where you're at, but I want to get it faster.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
don't want
bigger.
to. I want to get it faster than you did, and I want to get bigger and stronger than you did. What do I need to? And if you don't want to tell me, I'll figure it out. I'll find out. And I was the guy that found out because as soon as I found out, it was game over. And I think to a lot of people listening, you don't judge a book by its cover.
No, never.
Just because somebody's doing something or has a drinking problem or has this or. I didn't consider it as a problem in my. I thought it was, wow, if this is a problem, this is a great problem to have because all I care about is looking good, being big,
good. But
looking
it's
good.
really hurt.
God, I was being healthy because I'm working out. Because what do they always tell you? Go work out, get healthy.
Yeah.
So to me, in my mind, the first thing I'm thinking is, well, if I'm taking this stuff and I'm working out, I'm doing it the right way in life because I must be healthy. Because
but you didn't know what it was doing to your inside.
I didn't know what it was doing to the inside of me, and you're right, and that's where it comes down to.
And Mike, you were saying, when you get looked at. Now imagine how you and Scott look like. You guys look like regular big guys. He's got hair, you don't have hair. Yeah. I got fucking tattoos all over my face and on my head. So I'm getting triple or quadruple the hate that you and Scott are getting because you guys are big. But there's a point to prove with me.
Yes.
When I walk into somewhere, they go, look at this fucking douchebag with all these.
Already automatically,
But I want to see how tough I am. And I'm sure it happens to you and it happens to Scott. You're big guys. But to the audience who's watching, don't fucking judge a book by its cover. If any of my friends ever needed me, I was the first one there to bash someone's fucking skull in. And I'm still till this day a genuine guy. I never stole. I was never locked up for too long. I look like this because it's an art form. That's it. I'm so sick of on TikTok people saying prison tattoos. No, I was never the scumbag to go to fucking prison over something stupid. It had to mean something.
And yes, I agree. And not to cut you off there, I agree with that. Scott, like I said, if we were that bad of a person or bad of people or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I said, we wouldn't be here today talking to people.
Exactly. I wouldn't.
And the reason why we're here talking to everybody is because we're letting them know not what to do and what to do. In our aspect of life.
My son tells me, Daddy, what do I got to do? I said, do the exact opposite of what I did. No tattoos. Work out. Do it the right way. And that's all I wanted to do. I tell my nephew the same thing. Don't listen to anyone. Don't let them tell you can't do anything. You can do whatever the fuck you want in this world if you put your mind to it. You can do anything. Look at me. I'm with this ugly mug with fucking tattoos all over. I got 500,000 followers on TikTok. I make almost, 1,000 a month. And I got a clothing company. So it's all, don't judge a book by its cover. That's what we're trying to say to everyone. Get to know someone before you talk shit. And I'm sorry, Scott. I know this is your podcast and I'm talking too much, but I want to know, your input. I didn't mean to
like I said, we're doing an open forum. This ain't no interview.
No,
it's three friends getting together explaining about the past.
Yeah.
And like I said, Scott and I taught, even just being friends for how long now, and just run into him. I never even knew him. He was from Pittston. I'm from Valley West. I'm on the other side of the.
There's a reason
for everybody else. It was almost like you're on one county line to another county line. You know what I mean? So it's not like it wasn't like we grew up in the same town.
No,
nobody grew up. A lot of people that you became friends with weren't in the same town. Yeah. You might have grew up with your best buddy or two in the same town.
Exactly.
You became very close with a lot of people with everyone else. Yeah. That's how it was growing up for us. So kids today won't ever know that because when they're doing it, they're like I said, they're doing it on social media. They're hiding behind a camera. They're not actually out socializing. They don't know what actual socializing is.
We were in Montauk hanging out in Massapequa.
Yeah, like, you know, they will never, and you'll never know, like, they'll never know what it is to do something good for someone. Because it's all about who likes me, who's following me. I don't give a shit about you or him or her. I care about me and what I'm doing, which is fine. Do your thing.
Yeah, do your thing.
But don't step on people in
Yeah,
life.
just keep
Don't
me
cut,
out of it.
don't cut
Like,
my legs from underneath me. You
and I
know,
don't mean
there's
to
a
cut
there's a
you
good
off,
way. Yeah,
Mike.
there's a
There's a
better way
couple
to
of
do it.
guys I ride with, and now I'm starting to feel them out. And this one guy, I swear to God, if there was a fucking duffel bag with $1 million in it, he'd step over my fucking dead body and go and grab it. So I've been staying away from him a little bit. What taught me when I was younger is how to fucking figure people out and figure what they want. I could tell if you're a good guy or not just by looking at you. And I'm preaching, don't judge a book by its cover, but just having a conversation with someone, I could fucking tell if you're a good guy or a fucking shyster. You know, you gotta look me in my eye when you talk to me. You gotta fucking have a firm handshake, not an alien wet noodle fucking handshake that you give me. I don't trust you. You know what I mean?
You know what tough guys do now? Instead of shaking hands, a firm handshake, they text each other hi.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they Snapchat each other and put a
God, yeah.
filter on.
Hit me up on a,
Yo,
listen,
yeah,
that's how me and you guys
yeah,
met,
they'll
but
send you a Snapchat with a filter on it saying, "Yo,
yeah.
you want to fight?"
Fuck, listen, it's a whole new fucking world. I think if me, fucking Scott, and you and Mike went out, we'd have a fucking great time.
Oh,
We
great
probably
time.
would get into a fight. We'd fuck
And
some people up at the same time, but I feel like if we all grew up together, like you were the guys I was chilling with
yeah,
when I was
I
in my
agree. I
Vice
agree.
20s,
versa.
a
Yeah.
I
little
agree.
older.
I agree.
You guys
Yeah,
were the
yeah, a
guys
little
I was
older
chilling
now.
with.
Yeah, I
But
agree. But like,
it's just
just to
crazy.
get on the whole, like, you know, just let's talk about. I mean, mind me with Scott, but let's get into like trying to figure out like how this all became about with us three. You know, like where did it start for you about with addiction and stuff? You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
Yeah, well,
I think we take it back to the early
yeah,
2000s when this whole kind of and like when I say I'm going to be saying a lot of stuff like stories, and I want to make it clear to the audience. When I say like people were doing things, I'm not saying it was everybody, but I'm definitely going to say it was the majority of people.
yeah,
Like
of course.
people like we were talking about, like we're fresh in our early 20s. We see these guys that are like in their late 30s, 40s, and you know they're jacked to the stilts. They're all jacked up. We're at the gym, so we want to look like that. They're getting the hot girls. They got pockets full of cash with no education, so you can use your imagination how it's going down. But we want to be those big guys. We want to be the guys that people are coming up to the gym saying, "Hey, what do you do for lifting?" Or we want those girls on our arm. We want to go to the clubs and be able at 20 years old to pull out a wad of cash and not be able to peel the bills off. We don't want to go to school for 8 years to make that kind of money. We want to fast track it. So I think like that era, a lot of people were rewarded for doing bad things. You were
Right,
literally
Yeah, because
rewarded for
now
doing
you
bad
can't
things.
do it
I agree.
anymore.
I
Like
agree.
my friend, he was you know what he used to do, and he used to walk around with 4,000 at all times. But nowadays, everybody's got such a close eye on people. You can't live like that anymore in the club life.
You're right. You know what's funny? I don't think I knew anybody when I was going out at 21. I don't think I knew anybody that had a job, like a real
No,
job.
yeah,
I'm
my
not even
boys.
joking. It
No,
might,
me
as
either.
funny as that sounds, Scott. Like I don't think I've met, and I'm not sure how many people. When I turned 2021, being in that club scene, and don't get me wrong, I was getting in clubs underage. You
Yeah,
know, I
we
mean,
all
it was that was the thing to do. Like
They let you in at 18,
they let
though.
you in because
You're 18.
you're 18 and they knew who you were. They knew who I.
And you
When
slip the
someone said
bouncer a
Whitey,
50. You slip him
when
a
someone
50 and you're in.
They'd have a string. They'd have a string halfway
Yeah,
down
yeah.
the dance floor. Be like, "Don't go past that string."
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah. What's the first thing you're doing? Going past that string. You know what I
And
mean?
if you couldn't drink there, you're gonna drink before. And if you didn't drink there, you're gonna take GHB, Special K, ecstasy. You're gonna do something.
I mean,
God, right.
like Scott said, it was. I think it was just too easy, or like you saw, it was too easy to make the fast money than worry about going to school. Like
Yeah.
who wanted to go to school after 18 years old? The first thing you were thinking about is, man, I've been going to the gym for the last 3 or 4 years. I got out of high school now. I'm getting involved with these guys that are like,
making buku
10 years
money.
older than I am. They're 10
Yeah.
years older than I am
They got
as
the
I met them.
reputations, they got the
They have already the reputation. They have money all the time. They have the nicest clothes on. I said, man, they must be doing something right. Like Scott said, these guys were doing the worst things possible,
Yeah.
but getting rewarded as, man, he's like a local legend. Like this guy is like,
Yeah, he
we didn't look at, oh man, we didn't worry about who was an awesome celebrity or who was a cool actor or who was an awesome baseball and football player. You didn't talk about that shit.
No,
the things you talked about was, yo, what's this one doing? Oh
Yeah.
man, that's so and so. Look at him, man. He's
Yep.
jacked. Like,
He's making
where's
money,
he going?
jacked
Where's
up.
he going tonight? You know,
Yeah.
like, where's he going? Or
And
like,
Mike,
he's-
Mike and Scott, we weren't guided to go to college.
No, you're
In that
right. You're right. You're
We
right.
weren't guided. It was, all right, my friend sells fucking drugs. I want to be like him.
He's
He
making
walks
more
around
money
with
than somebody is
500,000.
making going to school.
Yo, but back to even like watching TV back then. All your hottest like hip hop R&B came in through that era.
Yeah.
People were
Yeah.
rolling up to clubs with Range Rovers and stuff. You wanted that life.
Yeah.
The hot girls
Yeah,
dancing in clubs.
of course.
You wanted to dance with those girls.
Yes.
You wanted to party like that.
Yeah.
You wanted to be making it rain at the strip club with money. Like you ain't doing that unless you fast track it. Like you ain't get unless you're a trust fund kid or you came from like old money or something. And if you have to go out and hustle, like me and him said the other day, like, dude, like, where did we find all that spare time? I understand we're fathers now, but like,
Yeah,
where do
like-
we have time to wake up when we wanted to, go to the gym sometimes twice a day, go up the mall and go shopping, then like go out 4 or 5 nights a week?
and-
Where'd all this time come
and-
from, and where did it disappear to now?
And
I think-
where did all the money? And how did you make all the money? Where did all the money? I don't even. I still to this day.
I spent when I went out back, we'd be fucking millionaires.
That's why I
And-
said. I talked to my girlfriend about it too. I'm like, man, I can't believe the amount of money I spent on the stupidest shit. The stupidest, and that's the thing too. I want to get across people. The value of $1, you know what I mean? I'm not
No.
saying I know the value of $1, but I'll tell you what, I respect it because
Now, yeah.
if you're a hardworking man or a middle class man or a high, whatever, low class, upper class, who gives a shit?
Yep.
Money's money, green is green, and the world revolves around it. But I know it doesn't. It can't cure happiness. It can't make you love somebody.
It can rent happiness.
But the thing is, to me, not to get off that subject, I think the fact was, like Scott and what we're talking about is going to school, like you said, wasn't an option. Wasn't a choice. You weren't guided to do it. It wasn't like, yo, you should go to college, kid, because you're gonna make something. You're gonna make something of yourself. Your parents, half of us had a broken home. Half of us had broken homes. Like today, I know it's a big thing, but when you had a broken home back then, it was either your parents were split up and you were with your mom or you were with your dad, and that was it.
Exactly.
That was it. Now it's like it's more you're more led into having okay, screw it, just pay child support or just give me money and everything will be okay.
That's what they're doing
That
now.
so like Scott saying with the whole people rather fast track it, make quick money and not go get an education. I'm sure all three of us right now and everyone out there at the same mistake that we did was we worried too much about what that person was doing or that person
not the
was
dollar
doing.
bill. We didn't save.
We were money
Yes.
chasing.
Yes.
But the
And
thing was
image chasing.
image chasing, money chasing.
We were doing
and-
both, but we were spending it. We didn't know. Like nowadays, I'm not gonna go out and spend all my money because I got fucking bills. But
Yeah.
we had the money, like you said, Mike. We didn't know the value of a fucking dollar, so I'd go out and spend $500.
Anthony, we'd be
the whole
guilty.
next day.
Anthony, guilty as charged. You go up to the mall or you go somewhere on a Friday night and be like, oh, I got to get an outfit. You could drop $300 on a
Hell
set of
yeah.
jeans
Hell
and
yes,
and a diesel T-shirt
And-
that costs
and you were-
$100. Now you're gonna go out to the bar and run up a $300 bar tab.
and not even worry about it. And not even worry. It never even crossed crossed your mind?
You're gonna redo it again on Saturday.
Yeah, because guess what? You're doing it tomorrow night. The same exact friggin' thing. It wasn't why you were doing this one night a week. You were doing this every single
Every
friggin'
night,
night of the
Monday
week.
to Sunday. I can't even have a drink.
It blows my mind
33.
because I can't even go out one night a week now in my 40s.
I can't.
And if
do
I
it.
do go out, I feel terrible
You're
if I even
hungover for
spend
4
money.
days. Right? Because that's how I feel.
Like I said, it's not even get off the subject. We keep saying that, but there's so much going on. It's such a great conversation.
Exactly.
I just think that it's what we're trying to say is everybody out there. I mean, you need to realize people work hard. People earn money today.
Yeah.
Don't go out and blow money like it's water. Like, you know what I mean? There's no
plan for your future.
Definitely plan for your future. I was told, I wish I was told this 20, 30, 20 years ago.
Man. We have so much money.
I would have invested. I would have in people like, here's another one too. And I know, Scott, the old timers in the gyms, and I'm sure, Aunt, you ran into a lot of older people in their day.
Yeah.
And always told you, hey, kid, do this, because this is what I went through. Do this. Screw you, man. What do you know? Right? Like, screw you. What do you know?
Right.
I'm not, I'm not listening to that guy. You know what I mean? Like, what does he know?
Yeah.
Now, guess who's saying that shit to kids now? I'm saying it to my nephew. Hey, listen, don't do this. Don't do that. You're saying it to your daughter, your son. Don't do this. Do this. Because now I find myself doing that same exact shit that guy told me 20 years ago, and now I'm in his. Now I can see why he was pissed off.
Well, how about how
we're grateful that we do that with stuff now.
How about back we were talking about like being rewarded for doing bad things.
Yeah.
Like these people, like we were saying, like locally, and I'm sure you went through the same thing. Like these local legends, we like to call them. Like we'd see people like. You bump into a friend like in your 20s and they'd be like, yo, you'll never guess who I was with last night. And they made it sound like they met Michael Jordan or Brad Pitt or somebody. And they're like, so-and-so. And I'm like, the old guy from the gym? Yeah, man, I was partying with him all night.
You wouldn't believe what he was doing.
Yeah.
Really? What was he doing? And then next thing you know, you see him, you want to hang out with the guy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
He was doing this. He gave us all this shit. We were having
this guy, like, and it's unreal because like
loser who fucking lives at home with his mother, and we're all looking up to him, and he's a fucking loser living at home.
But that's what we grew up into. That was like Scott, was telling us. That was what 2000 and on was. It was, hey, who do you know that can get you this or get you that? Who is the cool guy to hang out with? Who are the cool people to hang out with?
Yeah,
and it's funny you say the
about.
word cool because it's not even just a cool word to say cool these days, That was like so high school. But it's funny that you bring up like that guy was cool, man. That guy was an awesome dude.
Yeah.
And you don't, and honestly, you don't even, it's like I used to see so many of these people out. And now I don't even see you enough.
No,
it blows my mind.
Dead.
You know what I mean? Like it's like I saw you so much, now I don't see you enough. Like what happened?
I have no friends.
Like what happened to those guys that you looked up to? That you thought would take you under your wing. What happened to them? And honestly, if they were such a good friend to us and that they were such good people and great people and mentors and idols, they would have took you under their wing and said, listen, kid, or listen, Aunt, listen, Scott, listen, Mike, don't do what I did. Yeah. I know you want to look good, and I know you want to have the nicest shit and the nicest clothes, the nicest whatever, you want to look good. Please just think about what you're doing.
Yep.
I know I might, that, now today, I know it's easier for me, it's easier to say it than do it. And like I said, I would like to say to people, don't go out there and just because someone's doing something that they see on the internet or they see on social media or this one's trying this or doing this because, man, he's got lots of followers. Or, listen, that guy has followers because of a reason.
Yes.
There's a reason why he has those followers.
Yes.
There's a reason why he does what he does. Don't try to be someone you're not. Try to be who you are. Be authentic. Be original.
You're taking the words out of my mouth, Mike.
You know what I mean, man? Like, don't
My grandpa used
be
to tell
that.
me
Don't
what
be
you're
that
telling
guy
me.
that. Because you know what? I'm not saying we're not here forever. We're not living forever,
No.
man. Because if you're gonna try to persuade yourself to be somebody else, don't do it. I tried going out
You'll
around.
never
Guess where
be
it got
like
me?
that. You'll never do it.
No, and I tried going that route, and you know where it got me at? It got me nowhere.
No, it's like
Because
shut
at
up
the
with
end of the
Joneses.
day, you did the clubs,
Yeah.
you went out, partied, you worked out, you did what you did, you took the vitamins, the one a day,
Yeah,
you know.
And then you did the shit.
Your one a day. Let me tell you something. At the end of the day, it wasn't worth it.
It wasn't worth
It
it.
really wasn't. Like Scott and I were talking on the phone a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about the podcast, and I said, you know what? It's crazy that how much we don't even interact every day, but how close of a real friend is when you can
Yeah.
actually pick up the phone and just
And
call
say,
somebody
"What's
out
up?
of
What do
blue
you
and
need?
just have
What
a
you doing?"
conversation out of nowhere.
Exactly.
And that's a friend. And like I said, I thought friends were my friends growing up in that time because all they cared about is,
Going out.
well, where's
to
the
party.
next party?
Yeah.
Where's the next party? Where's the
I don't
next
see
drug?
Any of them.
Where's it? You know what I mean? They didn't care about us, man.
No. They
And
didn't.
it
Scott's
hurt.
sitting. You guys are sitting in the studio. If I was you guys, I'd just take a spin around my chair. I always see Scott smiling. You're probably like, dude, I fucking made it. We got a fucking
Yeah.
podcast going now. I got Top Class Mafia. Nobody fucking helped me. You guys did it on your own, and I did it
We're
on my
still
own.
here too. We're
Yeah,
still
we're
here to
still
this day
alive.
because you know why,
why.
Scott. And not to speak for Scott, but Scott told himself one day, "Listen, enough is enough."
Yeah,
Yeah, you told yourself one day, "Enough is enough."
Absolutely.
Mike, you told yourself something.
Absolutely.
Enough is enough. Like, when does it actually stop being cool and start being?
And you taking your own route.
Yeah,
doing
like
yourself.
when is it starting to be like, okay, it's starting to, instead of being cool and whatever, it's starting to be mature now. Like,
Yeah.
where am I going now to invest my life the right way?
Yeah.
You're never too old to start over.
Hey,
And that's what this whole platform's about. Is people with remarkable rebound stories to build inspiration to people, to let them know, like, you have somebody that wakes up one day and they're 40 and they say, well, I didn't do shit since I'm 40, so now I'm just gonna fold like a table or fold like a fucking poker hand.
Yeah, that
and I
doesn't
can
work
do out
like
myself. It's never too late to make the change, and that's the thing I want to implement on this show. And I think, like, to go back to what Mike was saying, like, and I said this to him, and he's like, amen. Like, when you were in that scene and back in the day, like when we were partying, we were going out all the time, we were in that rhythm, you know, working out all week, taking our supplements, taking our vitamins, taking, you know, and then going out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We got into that routine, and it almost came to a point was like, time, like, almost like I felt as though, and Mike agreed with me, it was like time stood still. It felt like it was going to last forever. Then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
one day, it was like somebody turned the lights on and the club was over. And
Dude.
like it was about a couple of years ago, right before COVID, it was like less and less people stopped going out. People started forming families in our generation, in our area. It was like you started seeing less and less people out. People stopped associating with some people. You know, and it's
Yeah.
like you were saying about real friends. Like, I realized when my kid was born 7.5 years ago, who my real friends were. It wasn't the people that I was lending out my $100 Armani T-shirts and Diesel T-shirts so that they never return them. It wasn't the people that I was, hey, who wants a drink? And I'm putting out a $500 bar tab. Those people didn't even call me and say congratulations on your daughter.
Yep.
No, because they're just riding my wave, and that's why I said, like,
Exactly. They
if I
were
ever make it
riding the wave.
again, I'm keeping my circle small this time, and I ain't gonna be no sucker to people that want to take advantage of me. Because guess what? All those people, they're gonna be watching this show right now, and you know what I have to say to them is, you know what? People hate me right now because when I fell down, I didn't stay down. Because I'm
Got
coming back
back up.
stronger and harder than ever and positive, and I don't need to create an image of myself to impress people, because the real people that know me like me for who I am. They don't judge me based
Yeah.
off of appearance, like you were saying earlier and stuff like that. They know that I'm a shirt off your back type of guy.
Yeah,
I would
you're
do
fucking
anything for
Scott.
anybody.
They know you as yourself. They know you as the real fucking Scott, who's a good guy, a genuine guy, and you take off your shirt off your back for them. All these
And
my
and like I
cousin.
said, yeah,
Yeah, I
and
just
like I
want to
said
get
too.
one thing in here. My cousin owned a bar. He thought he was a fucking mobster, this and that. Fucking took me under his wing, tried to use me getting him bartenders, going in his bar, drinking for free. I didn't think I had to pay. He's my cousin. So then I got away from him. The last time I was in his bar, I ran up $150 tab. I never paid it. He said, "You're not my cousin no more. You'll never be anything," and hung up on me. So I just want to take this shout out. I'm not going to say any names, but if you see this, look at me now. Look at the money I'm making, and you could go fuck your mother. That's all I wanted to say. He knows who he is.
And
And Scott, you can edit that out or
well,
whatever you want to
and
do. But
well said for the both of you. Like like I said, meeting you and over on the internet here and on the
yeah,
podcast, and I really you know, it blows my mind to keep coming back to the fact that, like I said before, you can't portray yourself as someone else.
No,
You got to
you
do your
can't.
own thing. Like Scott's doing his own thing.
Yes.
You're doing your own thing. I'm doing my own thing. Who was there for us when we were down?
No,
Who was there for you? The person that's looking right back at you in the mirror. That's the only
Like,
person that's
yeah.
there for you. That's the
My
only
mother
person
and
that's going to
my
be there
father.
for you when you're
That's
down.
who was there. My mother and my father.
And that's why when Scott and I were talking about this, I'm not saying we were, I'm saying I didn't say life was hard. Our lives were pretty easy, man. We
Yeah.
made it. We made it hard because it was so easy.
Our life is hard now because we lived like we were retired.
That's
we
the
lived
thing.
like we were retired in our 20s.
Yes.
Yeah. God forbid we weren't sick. My poor neighbor
And-
had brain cancer. He died at 22. I mean,
And
we
you know
didn't
what?
have it like that.
Well, that's why they say, you got to live for today because tomorrow's
Exactly.
never promised. And it's a crazy saying, but it's so true.
Yeah.
At least set up a future for your kids or for the loved one next to you.
Yeah,
And
Mike, I'm sorry.
that's good. And here's what me and Scott were talking about too. I remember, people coming up to me because I thought I was this big shot. Oh, Mike Milunic this. Everybody knew who Mike Milunic Whitey was, and I'm not trying to toot my horn because I kind of felt like a local legend after those
Yeah,
other
but
guys
you
died
do.
off, But you know what bothered me the most, Ant and Scott? When people used to come up to me after all it was said and done and the party lights, the party was dying out and the kind of so-called 2 a.m., 2:30, your last call is almost like waking up in bed saying, yo, I thought you were going to be somebody, man.
Wow.
And that really hits you hard, man. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure you can
Words
relate.
hurt.
Like
Words
hurt. Like when it means something. Like when a friend comes up to you or people that because like you said, we didn't have a social media. So when people saw you face to face and
That's
said,
what it
"Yo,
was.
man, I thought you were gonna be something,"
Yeah.
and
No, I don't-
right now it kind of like touches home, like in my heart, man, because hearing that not just once or twice. Hearing that multiple times, a dozen times, like really hurts you, man. Because
It's
I thought you
fucked
were
up.
going to be somebody, man. Like, what happened to you?
But guess what?
And-
Now you are.
And now, like, yeah, you're right. And that's why I want to tell people, like, try not to, like I always keep hard, but try to be yourself. Try to be original. Try to be like
Be
how Ant's doing his thing and how Scott's doing his thing.
Yeah,
be original out there. Don't be somebody fake. Don't be somebody because that guy's doing it, you do it. Like
Exactly.
do your own thing. Be your own person.
Do your own thing. Don't be a follower. Be a leader. That's it.
Don't. There's too many. There's too many. Not enough chiefs. Too many Indians. Not enough chiefs. You know what I mean? Like it's. That's what you need. You need a lot of Indians, not enough chiefs.
Like
It's the other
it's
way
called
around
a
when
yes
they say it,
man,
though.
like-
They say there's not many Indians. There's too many chiefs. I say it the
Yeah.
other way because we need more people in the world to actually come together and be something, that make something of themselves. You know, I don't.
Absolutely, bro. I totally agree
Like I
with
keep
you.
saying to before, people ask me like, "Man, I thought you were gonna be somebody. I thought you were gonna be somebody." And you know what? I am somebody. I'm a human being like anyone else. I did make it. You know, I'm a great father.
Yeah,
Scott's a
man. You
great
got your
father. I'm sure you're a
family.
great father.
You're a
You know,
great friend.
like you said, like you were saying, Scott will give his shirt off his back to somebody. I'm sure you're the same as well, 100%.
I've done it
I know
before,
I
yeah.
am. I don't have, you know, like I said, I don't have to tell anybody, like, you know, oh man, don't portray yourself because you're on the internet talking on a podcast that, oh yeah, anybody could say anything and you could be fake. But you know what? I'm going to be as real as I can get. I'm not this person that's great. I'm not famous. I'm not no celebrity. I'm not going to sit here and bullshit anybody and say, yeah, I'm somebody. But let me
But
tell you
you'll
something.
get there.
If
I
I
believe you
could,
guys will definitely get there.
if I could actually say something though, is that you don't need to do drugs. You don't need to go out there and do that shit. You don't need to be out there hurting yourself. You know, there's a lot of people that go through a lot of shit to be get serious on a serious note now. There's a lot of people out there that are hurting inside. You know, like I said, we were talking about this whole segment, Scott. Don't judge a book by its cover. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of people out there that are hurting inside, and you don't know who you're standing next to in line by judging somebody or stereotyping somebody, as we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
You don't know who you're standing next to. So why doesn't everybody just take consideration in life and lend out a helping hand, or ask or say hello to somebody,
Ask them if they
socialize,
need
like,
help.
hey, how you doing today? Like,
Yeah.
you know, be real, be a person. You know,
That can
don't.
make somebody's day.
And you know
Even
what
a
feels good?
smile.
And Scott, we were talking. You know what feels good? Waking up and helping somebody.
Yeah.
You could have the worst day of your life, and you could wake up and help one person. I don't even care if it's carrying a garbage bag for somebody, or helping them, you know, push their car to the side, or helping them get gas.
Yeah, man, that's a great feeling.
We're missing this in life now because there's too many people worried about taking a picture at somebody or a video and watching somebody be hurt than helping them. Let's hurt people instead of help them.
Get their ass kicked and laughing and saying "world star."
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
You know what?
Listen, Mike, it's different times.
I'll tell you right now. You know what's funny? And I tell Scott, you know, I never wanted to get too crazy, but I'll tell you what, man. If you really wanted to talk shit to somebody's face, and you wanted to say it to my face or anybody's face, you know, your teeth were getting cracked.
Yeah.
And you're right.
You were gonna get hit.
You're definitely getting hit because there was no talking about it. There was no person that used to say,
"Yeah, when I see you, it's beef." And I'm sure God has done it.
I'm not going to sit there and say, "Yo, I'm going to TikTok dance on you." You know what I mean? Like,
today. if somebody wants it, they can get it. Either today. You know, you're a big guy. Scott's a big guy. If somebody's got something to say, come over. Say it to my face. Say it to your face.
Anthony, here's why I don't condone like the violence thing, because like no, like hear me out. Like with that being said, like my rebound, how hard life kicked me 5 years ago, 6 years ago, like I lost a business, I had to start over, I was battling alcoholism, financial difficulties, marital issues, and like I got hit so hard for so many years that like I have so much built up animosity that like I refuse to fight anybody because like I don't know where I would actually take myself. Like I'm saying, like you don't even know, because like Mike was saying, like you don't know who you're standing next to. Like you got this tough kid with his Starbucks coffee that wants a Snicker and give you a dirty look. Like you don't know where our minds are. You don't know what we've been through. Like you don't know what's going to be that switch that day, and that's why I don't even like taking it there. Like I'd rather, and people can call me a pussy, a bitch all they want.
I'd rather smile and have a cup.
You know what I mean? Like I'm more afraid what I'm gonna do if it gets to that point. Like I'm like when I start getting that, like I call it whiting out. Like you white out, like and like I don't want to wake up in jail hearing that I killed somebody, because like when you snap back into it, like people don't understand, like, when you go through such struggle and then, like, you got to rebuild yourself back up, like, those inner demons are still in there. You're fighting. Like me and Mike talked about, like, I can put on a smile all day. I can hold the door and say, hey, how you doing? Good morning. Mm-hmm. I can talk to coworkers, say, what's up? But I sometimes battle depression every day.
I do.
I battle anxiety. I don't dump gasoline on the fire no more, which I don't put out that fire with alcohol. I don't try putting out that fire with alcohol or any sort of substances, because trying to put out...
it only makes it worse.
Trying to put out a fire...
It's a Band-Aid.
Having anxiety and depression and adding a substance to it is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline.
It's like running in place.
Yeah,
it's like running, but you're standing in one place.
Yeah.
So like I try nowadays. I try thinking and talking before reacting. I used to have a real reactive personality, and it got me in nothing but trouble. And I try like doing more thinking than anything. I mean, like people. The whole point of this segment was to explain to people how easy it was to fall into the trap under our era when we grew up. I mean, look at nowadays, like bars and restaurants on Friday, Saturday nights, they can barely stay open past midnight because nobody's around. When we were coming up, there wasn't even just clubs that shut down at 2 a.m. People got these bright ideas. Let's open after-hours clubs because till 2 a.m. wasn't enough.
2
to 5.
And to come off that, it's true. Like
nobody wanted
to go home. It was either you do or die. That's what it was. It was do or die. And if there wasn't, if the Club Fury wasn't open at 3 a.m. or after hours, or Diablo's or the Castle in Scranton, like these after hours, they were no good because nothing good happens after what, 12, 1, 2 a.m.
I'd say after 12.
So then you're going back out till 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning. What are you really accomplishing?
Nothing.
You're really fucked up. You're just getting, and like Scott just said, you're just getting more messed up, screwed up.
Yes, and more vulnerable.
Like out of your mind. You're the only you want to know the real reason why we did what we did, and not just say because we never wanted to go home. We love the party lifestyle, because if everybody knows, looking good doesn't mean go out and do drugs and drink, because you're not going to look good after.
No, we were mad.
So what it was to relate to Scott about depression, anxiety. That's what it was. That's what it was all about. You were battling so much anxiety and depression inside.
And demons. You wanted to stay out.
If you want to think about it, we were insecure.
Yeah, hell yeah.
We were very insecure about ourselves because we wanted to be other people.
Why are we doing this to our body?
Because basically all the guys out there and everybody listening, when you want to portray yourself and look at somebody locally or a best friend, and that guy looks good and this person looks good, you're only making yourself worse inside because you're not feeling good about yourself. You're trying to be somebody else.
Absolutely.
And you're becoming more insecure and body shaming yourself and making yourself look even worse. And then you're waking up looking in the mirror and saying, man, I look like total dog shit. Look at me. But you know what? You let it go because you just keep egging it on with like throwing gas on the fire, like Scott said.
Yeah.
Let's keep doing more drugs. Let's keep drinking. Let's keep doing this.
Yeah.
That's where you become the vicious cycle and become the darkness. That's what they call it the darkness.
Yeah,
because
the
now,
dark area in your life.
Yeah, like now you're becoming that guy that you're snowballing effect. It's like a vicious cycle. Like, okay, one thing leads to this, then the next thing, then the next step. Before you know it, you're so like figure 6 feet deep. You're looking back up like you're like, how did I get this far? Because you just band-aided you band-aided it every weekend.
Yeah.
That's why. You
Band-aided.
band-aided.
You know
but
what
because
makes me feel good now is fucking going to the gym, drinking a gallon of water 2 hours before bed, waking up, making money, feeling good, working on top class, talking to you guys, successful people,
making money the right way, making real money.
Yes,
getting results.
Getting your own personal results.
Yeah.
Your own personal results.
How surprised I was when Scott told me, he goes, bro, I got my own podcast. I go, fucking Scott, you're doing it big, bro.
I was like, sign me the frig up, man.
Hell
like, where do I start? You know,
like, I'm also a big fan of Joe Rogan. So when he said that, I go, fuck yeah, let's do it. You guys are fun for doing it.
Like I said, I mean, I think there's a lot of people, and don't like try to come at me with. I think a lot of people try to hide And a lot of people try to deny themselves why they don't want to come out and speak.
Yeah.
Why people don't want to be like, I don't want to be heard, or don't put me on the internet, or don't do this. It's not. I think it's not being scared. I think it's just they don't want to fight their insecurities. They don't want to fight and come out and be, hey man. They think it's gonna hurt their life or ruin their life. No man, you come out and be real. It's only gonna make your life real.
Yeah,
better.
Totally.
Real.
And that's
yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. Mike keeps taking the words out of my mouth. You gotta fucking be yourself. You listen. Closed mouths don't get fed. You have to fucking open your mouth and reach out for help. You know, us men, we feel like a pussy telling people we're depressed, and that's why a lot of us men kill ourselves. You gotta talk to somebody. Don't be ashamed, even for the people listening. If you're depressed, it doesn't make you a pussy because you're depressed and have anxiety. It's way more people out there that you don't know about that suffer the same thing that you do every day, including me. So talk to someone, man.
It's not the person, and it's not some person sitting by themselves in a room. It's everyday people.
It's your
are going
everyday
through
husband. It's your everyday father.
Every day somebody's going through addiction, depression, fighting a battle of anything, anxiety, insecurity, stress.
Mike, you're
People
right
have
on.
so many problems. There's so many different problems and so many variables out there that people they get caught up in. Oh, I'm just living my best life.
Yeah, no, you're not.
No, don't be truthful. You
Yeah,
know, like,
bro, you don't
you're
have
not
to
living your
lie.
best life, because if you were living your best life, you wouldn't be telling me about it on social media every single day.
Exactly, you wouldn't
I'm
be
gonna
bragging about it.
I'm gonna give you an analogy I just came up with in my head just now. So, like, the way that you approach things, the way I used to approach things versus the way I approach them now is like, so my analogy of it is, if you walked in your living room and there's a big pile of dog shit in the middle of the living room, are you gonna put a blanket over it and just let it sit there?
Yeah, you're right.
Or are you gonna go get some paper towel, grab it, throw it in the toilet, and clean up after yourself and realize, okay, well, I have a problem. There's shit in the middle of my living room. I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to flush down the toilet, and that's it. That analogy is versus putting a blanket over it and masking it, which that's what I used to do when I would wake up with depression or anxiety. Instead of writing down a piece of paper, well, what's making me stressed out? What's making me anxious? What's making me depressed? And figuring out how I get those things out of my life and get rid of them.
Yes.
The blanket analogy is, I'm depressed, so now I'm going to drink.
Yeah,
I'm depressed,
it's a
so now I'm going to
Band-Aid.
get high.
Just like you said, the towel over shit. That's what it is.
I'm depressed. I'm gonna shoot a needle in my ass to get bigger and let the pain go away, and go to the gym and lift and think, oh man, because I lift 300-400 pounds today, man, everything's okay.
That wasn't it, though.
But that wasn't it. Because
what it was is the younger generation coming up to you and idolizing you is what fed our egos.
And
that made us feel better.
And Scott just took a great point out of my mouth right there too. That was something I wanted to mention early to everyone is, as we idolize these local legends that we call them, and there was dozens of them.
Yeah.
When you started doing that, what was the next thing? You became that now.
Yes.
So it made more of a drive because those people were looking at you now. They were looking at you as, wow, man, like now you're the local legend of, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area. And it's like, wow, man, I feel so good now. I got to keep up that persona. So now you start doing that with your own insecurity. You're like, okay, now I'm going to go, I have to work out harder now.
Yeah.
I got to do this now. I got to go out and blow more money to make myself look good.
It makes it worse.
It makes it a lot worse, Ant, because not only that you're taking all your undivided attention on yourself to do all these things, you're not realizing all the harm you're doing to yourself.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you might be thinking you're taking so many steps forward, but all you're doing is going backwards.
Yes. You need.
Do you
to
see what I'm
get to
saying?
the
You're
root.
not going. you're not going clockwise anymore.
No.
You're pretty much going counterclockwise. You're always backtracking. You might, like I said, you might be taking steps forward, but the thing is, you're taking steps
Yeah,
back.
you're taking 5 steps forward and 3 back.
And when
You gotta get to the root.
now, and even just today, now just talking to you guys, it made me realize, like, man, like, I can't believe I wasted so much time on what other people thought of me or what other people were saying about me at the time. Like, oh man, you should be doing, I mean, look at you and look what you're doing, and like, I want to do what you're doing, and I want to be like you, man. I want to take what you're taking. I want to do what you're doing. And I thought that was a cool thing.
Yeah, we
you know what I
all
mean? Because
did.
I thought, oh man, they're asking me now,
Yeah.
so man, I must be doing something right. But all along,
They were
I'm
trying to
making
be
my
the
life
you didn't
worse.
want to be.
No, I'm making my life worse
Yeah.
inside of my head, because now I'm thinking, wow, I'm just doing the same thing those guys were doing to me that I looked up to. Now I'm telling these kids to do the same thing they were telling me to do.
Sure.
Now I'm like the bad guy. You know what I mean? So now
Yeah.
I'm leading these people into a dead end road. You know what I mean?
There's nothing there.
Thinking, there's nothing there. Like,
Because you're not
I'm
fully
thinking,
there.
yeah, I have such a long life ahead of me because I'm only in my 20s. I'm going to live forever. That's what I
Too
thought.
many people said that.
I'm sure you thought like that
Yeah,
too,
my
man.
friend
You're
just
probably
passed
thinking,
away, man. It's not like that. We're never
there's
promised tomorrow.
there's so many friends. There's so many friends that like, it's crazy because there's so many people that passed away I knew because of drugs and doing the things they were doing, and and some of them you were thinking like, man, I looked up to that guy, and you looked up to this one, and you're like, man, so and so passed away, or this one passed away, and you're like, from what? And you're like,
heroin.
drugs, man, drugs, and some of them people were killing themselves and suicide, and I'm thinking, what is going on, man? Like, how is this? Is it like I'm thinking, oh, because I'm getting older? But then I'm thinking to myself, no,
They
I'm
just
only
didn't make it.
I'm only 40 years old, man.
Yeah,
it's not like
you're
I'm
young.
60, 70 years old that people are passing away of old age or getting sick. People are passing away at 30, 35,
Dude,
40
I'm
years old.
33.
Like,
All of my friends died from fucking
and
ODing.
that's where I come about, is like, that's where you need reality kicks in, is like, you know what, man? I gotta really come true to myself that it isn't because it's because of what we did when we were younger.
Yes.
They never got past that. They never
And
grew
we
up.
have a second chance because we're still
There
here.
you go.
So make the fucking best of it. And let's
Yes.
blow your podcast up. Let's blow topclassmafia.com up. And we move along. Now we're a team.
Yeah.
Let's join together.
And there you go.
3 bad motherfuckers to take over the world.
And that's what and you hit the nail on the head. Yeah. Like I was saying to Scott, why I was talking to a best friend of mine on the phone, actually, and he's very successful. He was my best friend growing up in the area. He moved away. I'm so proud of him, man. I looked up to him growing up. We were just it's not like I said, we were talking earlier before in the segment where, we grew up together. There's no friends that are best friends today like that. Like,
No.
you might, older friends, like our age group, you might still have those best friends or those group of friends, which, my girlfriend does. And, there's people I know. But these kids won't know what best friends are, because you have to be sociable. You have to be a friend. You have
everything's
to be,
like
you
this
have to
on
be
the internet.
You have to be the one that socializes with
Mike.
somebody.
But you're right.
Yeah.
It's all on the internet.
And-
they don't have no physical communication.
And I talked to him, and he even told me, he's like, you know what, man? He's like, ever since I moved away, my life's gotten way better. He has a great family, businesses. He's doing great for himself.
Good for him, man.
And I'm proud of him. And like I said to him, I said, you know what? I said, I haven't met a true friend since you left this area. You were the last true friend I actually had until you left this
And
area.
thank God he's still around.
And I'm glad. And you know what? I can't be selfish, Ant.
No.
So for me to be, to me, for people out there, if you have a true friend out there, and the true friend, what I mean is they're going to be the one that picks you up when you're down. You pick them up when they're down. You let them do their thing. Don't be selfish.
No.
Be somebody that backs somebody up.
Yep.
Be a guy that says, "Hey, Ann, I can't wait to see you do good with your clothing line." Or, "Hey, Scott, I can't wait to see you do good with your podcast." Or, "Hey, Mike, I can't. I'm glad you're doing well for like a small business for yourself, doing this and or whatever you do in life, or anybody does." People need to be doing that instead of
or fucking be yourself. Be genuine.
Yeah,
listen, everybody wants to see you do good, but not better than them.
And like I said,
making money.
And
come on, man. Come on.
And like I said, coming back from that, like just coming back in the old day, and not saying the old days, but like just back in, years ago, coming up in that scene, if I could take anything from it is, it's a lesson learned.
Yes.
It was, trial and error, a mistake well fixed or made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because the way I look at it is, if you're going to make a mistake, because we all do, we all make mistakes.
We all do, man.
It's what you do after that mistake. It's what Ant does after that mistake, or anybody out there listening, or what I do, or Scott does. That's why you're successful now, and that's why Scott is, or myself, is because we learned, Ant, to figure out what we could do after the mistake was made.
And I feel like we learned young, right at that cusp of fucking up and then fixing it. And like by the time I was like 25, 26, 27, I started doing the right thing. Then I opened up TikTok. Then I opened up my business. It failed once. I got right back up, did it twice, and now we're working. We got some pressure.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We're
and
working.
That's what I said. I think that everybody, like I keep going back on, I think everybody needs to make a mistake in life.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be perfect.
Learn from it.
Nobody will be perfect.
You can't get that taught in college.
You can't.
That can't
that's
be taught
what you're right, Scott. That's one thing.
Amen.
You will never be taught. I don't care, $100,000, $200,000 on tuition, 4 years, 5, 6, 8 years in college.
Smart.
You will never be able to be taught a mistake in life and to come bounce back from it. You got to go through it. You're exactly right. You have to go through it.
Yeah.
You can't go around it, because when you go around something, you're just trying to make things easier. You're not seeing the hardship of it.
Story is
going through is the hardship. You got to go through walls before you go through.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You got to go through walls. Yeah. You got to break walls down, man.
It sucks. It sucks. Don't get me wrong. Like I see kids I came up with that didn't follow the lifestyle me and Mike followed. They were known, but like they kind of like stayed in like they were out at the bars on the weekends and they left it at that. But during the week, they were going to college and going to college. Me and Mike were sleeping or at the gym. So I can't get mad at these people that I see at like my daughter's like functions because she's 7 now, and I see other parents that I came up with that got their shit together. How could I be envious of them? Because like when they were going to college, they were probably looking at me going, why can't I be like Scott going out all the time? I'm stuck in college. I'm stuck doing this. And nobody really idolized them for that. Nobody gave them a credibility. Nobody talked about, oh, that's so-and-so. Did you hear they're going for their masters? Nobody gave them clout for that because that was the right thing to do. Who wants to do that? Who wants to stop hustling in the streets and making wads of cash and being flashy at the bar? Who wouldn't want to live that lifestyle? And that's where a big misconception, a lot of like 3 of my guests lived the life of organized crime. And what I tried to implement on that was I wasn't like glorifying or glamorizing the fact that they were mobsters at one point in time. I was showing that, how hard it is to not live that life. And that's what sucked us into the trap, was living that life quick, fast, hustling in the streets, wads of cash. We didn't want to go to college and work for it and get those permanent gains. And that's why people took steroids back in the day. Who wanted take protein and get the gains that would take you 2 years to get that you can get in 2 months. Everything that we did, the three of us, instant gratification, just like an addict mindset. We wanted the fast track life. We wanted, but we didn't realize, like just like lifting. You stop taking juice for a while, you either get fat or skinny. Like you lose results. Fast gains, fast results comes with consequence.
Yeah.
They're not permanent gains. So like eventually, those like us trying to make fast money came with consequence. It came with not having permanent gains.
Yeah.
So I can't be envious of people that did things the right way, because that's why people like me and Mike and like yourself, we're still trying to figure our shit out in our 30s. We're slowly rebuilding our empire.
Meanwhile, they got houses and kids, and I know what you're saying.
Yeah. But there's also those people that I know that lived the Cinderella story their whole life, and I'll give them credit. They worked hard going to school for many years and making something out of themselves. But God bless them. God bless them if later on in life, in their 50s or 60s, they hit rock bottom and something happens. They're not going to know how to fucking handle it.
Yeah,
because they're always getting assisted.
Well said on that. That was well said, because that's why I always tell people, like we were talking the whole segment, don't judge a book by its cover, because that guy, you don't know what guy.
You don't know what he's going through.
Those people that were, people, I'm not going to say born into it with a silver spoon in their mouth, but they're never going to know the real struggle. So the people out there listening, either people that had no troubles in life, or the people that had troubles in their life, the people that had troubles in their life, just think of one thing: you're not alone, and you're a step ahead of the game. You're a step ahead of the game, maybe even 2 steps, because if you're living the hard life now, or was living the hard life, that made the person you are today.
Yeah.
That made the person you are today, and the true person that you could see every day in the mirror. Because if you didn't go through what you went through, you wouldn't be where you're at today. And you might be fighting a good fight or the good struggle, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's only making you stronger and stronger each day.
That's right.
And I'm going to be real there, because honestly, if Scott never had his addiction, or Ant or myself with doing what I was doing and partying and taking the vitamins, I don't think I would ever learn to get out of the trap. I think I'd still be doing the stupid shit that everybody's still doing today, that are not in a right place, still struggling, shouldn't be struggling, because they're just making that choice.
Yeah.
To me, people that don't make that choice, that are struggling just to do that, that's the people that are strong. They're the strong people, because they're dealing with anxiety, depression, addiction, anything that's hurting them in life, whether it's everyday money or marital problems, or I don't want to hear this, oh man, I got a problem because I don't make enough money, or I have problems because my girlfriend's cheating on me, or listen,
no, you're not working hard enough.
Listen, man, there's other, if that your so-called wife or your girlfriend or your whatever spouse or whatever, if they don't respect you for who you are, and are only in a relationship that's going to fight me because of money or financial, that's not the person for me. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say
Get
that.
the toxic people out of your life.
There you go, Scott. A lot of us are taking words out of our mouths today. It's
chemistry.
It's chemistry. The toxicity is what I'm trying to get across is, cut that shit out of your life quick as you can.
If you don't feel loved, fucking cut it.
Yeah, man, like, you got it. I love my girlfriend. God bless her. She's wonderful. I wouldn't be here without her today. And I'm going to be real. I don't care how cliche or corny that sounds. And I'm sure a lot of people have those rocks out there, man. She ain't a rock, man. She's my mountain. And if it wasn't for her today, I'm going to give her a shout out, Jess Wozniak. She's my rock. And, and Scott here today having me, and Ant meeting you today. This is wonderful, man, because it's I love trying to relay a message to people. Don't do what I did. Don't do what Scott did. Don't do what Ant did. Do what we did after the fact. Listen to us now. Do what we're doing now that it cost us 20 years of
John
us.
Cena, can you see me?
Yeah. Can you see me now? You know what I mean? Like, don't be what we were 20 years ago. Be what we are 20 years later now. Be that guy. Be the loving father. Be the best friend. You know, be the guy that's giving his shirt off his back. Be the guy that who cares about what you look like in the gym now. Hey, don't get me wrong, it feels good when I go to the gym, but you know what? I'm 40 now. I'm not the guy that's going to the gym, walking to the gym. Everybody's like, yo, look at it's Milunic, man. Look at how, you know what? No, man. Because I got over that demon. I got over the fact that when I walk into somewhere, you know what, Ant or Scott? I love when nobody knows me.
That was annoying.
It was only when you were doing that. You're right, Scott. When you were doing that at the time, or you were on your addiction, or you were drinking, what do people do when you're out with them? Like Scott was saying, they fuel it. What do they say? Oh man, drink more. Let's do more shots. Let's do more drugs. Let's do more. Let's lift more weights. Let's do more of this shit. Let's get more stuff. Get more jacked. It's only making things worse.
I used to walk in nightclubs. And my hand would hurt after I walked through the nightclub because so many people would be shaking my hand. I wish not one of those people shook my hand because that built such a false image in my head. I'm like, fuck it, I made it. I'm 22 years old.
Man.
I got spinners on my Lincoln. I'm jacked. I got the nice shirt on.
Yeah,
those 3 girls want to come home with me. I can do whatever I want. I'm untouchable.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too is you mix vitamins with alcohol, you think you can run through walls. And you know, that's a bad.
We were talking about that. We were talking about that beforehand when Scott had it. We were just talking about that. How you think you're untouchable or you're invincible. You know, like, oh man, you know, nothing's gonna keep me down.
You get knocked down, and you're like,
and then you get knocked down. You're like, yo.
Listen, and that's great
right on.
For the people who are listening to this and watching this. That separated us from being a kid to a man.
When you stop becoming the cool guy.
You know?
Yeah.
When people stop idolizing you and you stop becoming the cool guy, like
what do we all go through? Even older, like Scott had some great celebrities and great people on his shows. Like I'm sure everybody to this day, even people out there, what do people do? They can't let go of the past.
Yeah, you have.
No matter how much your mindset is as you get older, what's the first thing you think about? You always think about the past, or you always hear that story. Oh, remember what I used to do, or we all used to talk. Like, remember those days we did this? Because we are so caught up in our own insecurities that we wow, we really have to go back to when we thought we were cool. So we could be cool now.
Let me jump in there.
You know,
I used to watch Sopranos religiously. That was one of my favorite shows ever. And some of the stuff that's said in there, there's some good one-liners and stuff.
Yeah.
And one thing Tony Soprano said, James Gandolfini, and I don't know if this was actually meant to be written or if he actually just said it, but one of the best quotes I ever heard was the one guy kept coming up to him and talking about old war stories and reminiscing, and he goes, Tony Soprano says, do you know when you say remember when, that's the lowest form of conversation? Because it is, because if you're constantly living in the past, you're just letting and that's one of my biggest regrets is for the longest time, I lived in the past so much that I lost track of the present, which
you lose
now
track of the future.
It held back my future.
Yep. Hey, Scott, amen to that, man. Because you can't be so hung up on remember this. That's not here no more. You got to fucking look forward and strive and just be a man, have morals. And this is for everybody who's watching. Take care of your family. Do the right thing.
Yeah.
Like Scott said, don't think about violence. Going to fucking jail. Mind your own business. Take care of your family. Don't try to fucking show off in front of anyone. And be yourself. Don't ever put on a mask in front of anyone. Be yourself. If they like you, they like you. If they don't, they can go fuck off.
It's
you know?
the truth.
Yeah.
And it's the truth. I agree, Ant. I
I,
really do
listen,
agree.
this is the way I
I do
talk. If you
agree.
got to edit some of these words out,
No, man. Hey,
but listen,
I agree. I totally agree.
No, that's
You're just being raw and real, man. You're
yeah,
just being raw and real, and
raw, real, authentic. That's how.
I mean,
That's how I'm separated from the rest. You know, I'm not into this whole like. See, YouTube's flooded with like drama. Like somebody will talk about someone's podcast and then they go back and forth.
yeah,
Oh no, like you know, they go. I don't want to be like that. I'm here to inspire people,
yeah.
and I'm here to be real about it. I'm not here to mask shit because back to my like we were talking about earlier about people like hiding who they are and what they were.
Yep.
Like I get heat all the time from my daughter's mother saying like, well, I don't know if this is a good idea you're putting the show up because people are going to get the wrong image of you. What about when I was an addict and I was walking the streets and I was when I was an addict and I was
But it
at
was
local
okay.
bars, I was at local bars falling off bar stools or falling asleep on the floor. Like when I was making an imbecile out of myself as a public
Did
figure,
they care?
people see me as that. So why hide that now talking about inspiring people to make that change
Exactly.
and not be scared to make don't be scared to make that change. I'm here to make impressions on people.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not here
right.
to and I really don't care who judges me now because I'm not that person I used to be.
Either.
There's a lot of people out there that say, "Oh, he's this or he's that." Yeah, you're right. If you're living in the past, that was me 4 years ago.
You don't know
that
me
was. That's not me today.
But you know what though? But you want to know something? Going off Scott and that, off his whatever he was saying right here. We still weren't any different than we are now, though.
Yeah,
We never treated anybody different
Yep.
than what we are doing
I
now.
always treat
So as
You're
much
always
as
acceptable
you're
to
always
people.
you're yes. So no matter what we did or who you beat up or who you fought or who you or whatever drugs or addiction you had, you still were the same genuine person you are today.
still had that.
You
going,
don't change. A person doesn't change who
leopard
they.
doesn't change his
A leopard doesn't change its spots.
Yes.
Let's just put it that way.
Absolutely.
You see what you're right. That was perfect. Now, what I'm trying to say to everybody out there is just because Scott was drinking, falling off bar stools, or doing what I was doing in the gyms and drinking, going out drinking, or whatever you were doing,
Yeah, same thing.
we'll call it whatever we were doing, because it was whatever.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change who you were. That doesn't change what Scott was, what I am, and anybody else out there. So let's just not portray us as, wow, these guys are really, man, they were doing some bad things. Yeah, I think we all did something bad in our
Everybody's
lives.
got.
But that doesn't mean I'm going out and hurting somebody. That doesn't mean I'm going and robbing somebody or threatening people or stealing. That doesn't make me a bad person.
Why don't
I'm
you
a
give us
we're
props?
we're all fathers. We're all
Yeah,
fathers.
I'm a
There's a
dad,
reason
you're a
why we're all
dad.
fathers when we have kids. You know.
Let's just give us some props.
You know what?
before we
Like
end it
Scott,
up.
like Scott was saying too. It's gonna people were afraid to come on and talk with us about things. Well, what are you afraid of? Because it's only gonna make you. What is it doing? You weren't afraid when you were doing drugs in the bathrooms of the Woodlands, or you weren't afraid of doing drugs at this bar or this house party, or taking steroids or doing this, and everybody knew about it.
Yeah.
But you still were doing better in life then. You were still doing just as what you're doing now. So what made it? You know what made it real? You know what makes it real? What makes it real is that you didn't make it real.
Exactly.
It might be such a run-on sentence there. What I just said, it might
I know what you're
mess
saying.
people up. I'm going to break it down. What I'm going to say is, you can't be real because you're not real. What I'm saying is, you were living a lie the whole time. In denial. And there you go. Basically, what I'm getting to is denial. Denial is the biggest thing we all go through with addiction or drinking or doing.
River in Egypt.
And it's not the Nile in Egypt. It's not the river in Egypt either. You're right on. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say.
And that's why I came to terms with my addiction when I finally had enough. I was creating an image of myself that wasn't the true me.
Yeah,
I was
how much
portraying
money
to be somebody.
spending, Scott? Now we save our fucking money. We don't have to go out no more. We have kids. We cleaned up our act. We're doing good. People are looking at us and going, I can't believe. I guarantee you people are looking at you. I can't believe he's doing that good. And they're getting mad about it. Let's keep making them mad. Let's get rich.
Yeah.
And keep going and going and going. It's all gas, no break.
And they're going to be your best followers.
That's right.
They're going to be your
The
best
whole
spectators.
ride.
So whoever's saying, hating on whatever, or if someone has to notice you, man, they're your best. They're your best followers, man. They're your biggest fans.
They are, man.
I always tell that to people. You know, like if you want to talk about me, man, your life must be that miserable.
You're that
to worry
bored.
about what my life is about. You must be
Look at
that
my
bored.
page.
You say you're not that
watch
bored.
Scott and Mike's podcast.
Yeah,
You got to be that fucking bored to watch us.
Because you're going to see the comments flood. Go ahead. I mean, but you know what? You're watching us.
Exactly.
You're making a remark. You just didn't want to realize how much you liked it. You're commenting, so we know you liked it.
That's right.
You could do whatever you want.
Smile because you know they won't act like that in person.
But let me just tell you something. You know what makes me happy every day? Waking up knowing that I could talk to my daughter, or that I could go see a soccer. That's what makes me feel good, man. Going to see my daughter play soccer, or go cheer her on, man, or be able to. And not only a thing, I know it's such a cliche, but waking up and able to wake up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out here because they lost the battle of whatever they went through, man. And we're all going through it right now. Even being some successful what we are. We're still dealing with it, but guess what? We're still here, man.
Yeah.
We're still breathing. We're still smiling. We're still getting mad. We're still going through this.
We're still getting juicy.
We're still getting juicy as fuck. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you right now.
That's right.
I'm going to tell you right now. On all joking aside, I think this is as real as you can get. The best friends you can get on a podcast to talk with each other.
You guys
There's no better people that you could associate, because when I thought back in the day was, man, I want to hang out with this one. I should have been the one that said, man, I want to surround myself with people that are successful.
That's right.
Not people that are doing nothing.
And
I think that you want to surround. What I'm trying to say is, you want to surround yourself with good people, because that's going to be your appearance for your life. When you're hanging out with this guy, that's what reflects on you.
Yeah, of course.
Because I remember hanging out with people that did drugs or do whatever they did, and people made me look out to be this bad guy because I was hanging out with those people.
You are who you hang out with.
And successful people, or do you want to hang out with these losers doing drugs with no job?
You're right, Ant. Do you think successful people are hanging out with dirtball? Well, I'm not saying dirt, but you think they're hanging out with like guys that are
people.
They're hanging out with other accomplished people.
Yes.
They're hanging out with other accomplished
and
people.
Then you get
they're not hanging out with the Joe Schmo around the corner borrowing a cigarette off you, or say, hey, man, you got $1 or $2 so I can buy another beer? They're hanging out with other people that are saying, man, I want to make another dollar bill.
Man.
You know what I mean?
We want our bank account. Every time my account goes up, I get a high from it. That's my new high.
Yeah.
All the money going in my account. That's it. But I'm glad we're here. I'm glad that you guys are my friends. I'll always follow this podcast. I'll always be a good friend of Scott and Mike. And I hope I get to meet you guys one day. I really do.
Of course, definitely.
I mean,
we're always here.
Talk, man.
And the WB, that's for Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
Yes,
everyone.
brother. WB. Guys, if you're ever on Long Island, you give me a call, man, and we're getting together. We got to plan something before the end of the summer. But if you guys are ever around here, Scott's got my number. He'll give it to you. You fucking call me, and we'll go do some stuff. We'll take bikes out.
Right on, man.
You know?
Right on. Definitely, buddy.
Scott, what do you think, man? You think it was a good one or what?
I think so. I mean, raw, real, and authentic. I mean, we can't. This is nothing rehearsed. It's just right off the rip.
Yeah, man.
We just push the button and let it go. Just like that's what I mean. Like you can't go into this worrying about other people's opinions. Like my first interview, I was so nervous. I'm thinking like, oh, am I gonna say the words right? Am I gonna stutter? Is there gonna be? And like I was so worried about other people not liking me, and I'm like, well, like why don't we like get back on this? Like you're gonna sit here and you're gonna get back to how you used to be, being a people pleaser, portraying yourself as somebody you're not. No, like be your real self. And if people don't like, that's the best thing about it. Like people have the option; they can turn it off at any time. They don't have to watch. There's millions of other shows. The people that are watching. There's people that watch purposely to hate, and you know what? Why are you like I said to some guy the other day? He was commenting on my thing, and he was saying something about oh, you're rude. You were interrupting your guest. Well, why don't you post to me your platform? Attach the
better.
link to your platform
Yeah.
so I can learn how to be the best like you. And when I called him out on it, he deleted his
Exactly.
comment.
That's what
Kind
happens,
of
man.
so who won? You're a gutless coward. You're a pussy. You're a
Heroes
keyboard
watching
warrior.
in, they're miserable and they want you to be miserable too. We ain't gonna let that happen.
No, he's probably. I mean, he probably pumps gas for a living.
If that was the case, like I said, if that was the case, and we let people keep us down, we wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't have it. We wouldn't be here today.
How do you feel?
Because they're the people that actually stay down.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's another thing to get on a quick subject.
They don't want to
here.
see people go up.
They don't want, and we were talking about that. No, you should be the guy that wants to have someone successful. You want to be able to be the guy that pushes this guy over and that pushes that one to be better. Not don't push me behind my back and push me and then walk over me and say, hey man, get out of my way. That's not. Where's that going to get you? Yeah, you might get ahead of me, but where else are you going with it?
You're just going to get ahead of us.
You know what I mean? You're only getting ahead of me, but you know what? In the long run, they always say, and I'm going to take the words of a lot of people, karma is a bitch. And
it's a real thing.
It's a real thing, man. Because karma, when it goes around, comes around 10 times worse for you. And if you're going to be that type of guy and don't have somebody else's back, you better watch yours. You know what I mean? Because it's you know,
Mikey.
I know a lot of people believe in a lot of things, but I believe in karma, man. It's a son of a bitch.
I found a wallet with $2,500 in it. I said, fuck. I saw the guy's address. I brought it back to his house. The money was in there. He goes, you didn't steal from me? I go, no. Why would you think that? That's how fucked up this world is. He expected me to steal from him.
Anthony, where we come from, people would rather see you in a hearse than a Ferrari.
Yeah,
I want you to drive the Ferrari next to me.
Exactly.
No,
we want 3 Ferraris.
That's the honest to God's truth. That's the honest to God's truth. People
Scott
rather
and Mike, Ferrari, 3 in a row. Listen, let's have you guys join with Top Class. Me and Scott, Mike, will talk more. Scott, whatever you want to do, bro. If you want to link together and we could do Top Class on the podcasts, or we could bounce ideas off of each other. But let's get this one out.
Awesome.
Let's get this interview out. I'll have all my people check it out. They'll all follow you guys.
I'm on board.
And then let's twist.
I'm on board,
Let's twist some clothes.
I'm on board, man.
Let's do it.
I'm on board.
It's too easy to be ourselves.
It really is, because to be honest with you, I don't think this would have worked any other way.
No, it wouldn't.
I don't think it would have worked just having let's have a Q&A.
I'm
you know
live every night, so the people know who I am. They're gonna be like, "That wasn't you. That wasn't
I don't
you."
think it would have worked the Q&A. I think we just had to plug away and just see what it went with and where it went.
We were shooting the shit. We were talking like 3.
And I told you, I apologize about not being able to, make this happen on Friday. Mike said he needed 3 more days to get juicy.
I had to get a little juicy AF before I got on this podcast. But you know what? What does it matter, man? I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. I mean, I really don't care. I really don't care what anybody thinks.
Listen,
juicy AF.
I don't really care. Honestly, guys, I don't even care what anybody thinks. I think it's great. I think it's great we all could sit here and laugh and joke and be real, because there's a lot of people that can't do that. People take things too serious.
Been off an hour ago. They would have fucking had nothing to say. You know what I mean?
Maybe even maybe when this actually started, it would have. You know what I mean? So, like I said,
listen, it will work out. If you guys are in Long Island,
I think people need to smile, and I think people need to have an ear.
We'll go pump some iron. All right.
Awesome, brother. Peace, man.
Thanks for everybody coming out tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Let me know.
I hope whoever was offended, I hope you toughen up.
Yeah, guys. Listen.
And you know what? I'd also like to.
Mike, you could say it.
No, I want to say I want to say special thanks to Scott Stuch having me on here. Meeting Ant too for the first time on here. It was almost like we were actually friends from 30 years ago. Like we grew up with each other. That's how easy this was. I thought this was a great experience. I just want to let everybody know out there, I hope everybody takes this in consideration that, even though as raw and real as it got, or how how far off subject we got with things or bounced around. I hope people will get a positive outlook on this. Like, hey, what to do and not to do. I mean, it's our lives, what we went through. You take it and run with it. But as I said, you do what you want to do. It's just advice. It's opinions. You can, like I said, you run with it. So I appreciate Scott Stuch. Thanks for having me on. And thanks for everybody for listening and listen to Sober Sit Down with Scott Stuch.
You guys don't take it personal. What I said, you could take it, you could go with it. Thanks for Scott. Thanks to Mike. TopClassMafia.com, guys. We're gonna go big with it if we can, but don't take what I said to heart. Like Mike said, you could take with it and run, or you could ignore it. That was from the heart, and I thank you again, Scott and Mike, and we'll see you soon. All right, guys?
Thanks, man. Take care.
Thank
Love
you,
to
and
everyone.
guys, make sure you click subscribe if you like our
See you
content.
later, guys.
See you later, brother.